Hey, everybody, welcome to Mcmahon, your source for all things professional wrestling. I'm AJ Zarian, and I'm joined by the best hugger in the world, and that's a shoot, Rich Stambolian.
I ain't telling no lie, baby. That is true. People, besides you, people are always like, "Hey, can you give me a hug?" And sometimes I'm like, maybe later.
Really, certifiably one of the greatest huggers ever. I've been having a very stressed day since coming in on Tuesday night from Manchester. I had meetings all day yesterday in the city. I proceeded to lose my mind.
Yes.
From my stress, to the point that my wife wrote a note this morning and left it on the counter saying, like, it'll be okay.
Saying, hey, you're an asshole.
Hey, no, I wasn't an asshole to her. Oh, I almost was. She's like, it'll be okay. Here's some coffee. You'll make the right decision.
All right.
And now we're here. I got to do What the Tech with Ayaz.
Ayaz Akhtar.
A lot of crossover between Ayaz Akhtar on this show and What the Tech.
That's true.
Right after this, I'm doing a show with Ayaz, and then I am running out of here because I have 2 big meetings today.
Wow. Good for you.
I'm avoiding a dreaded email I'm supposed to get. Probably requiring me to make a decision for my life, for my livelihood over the next 48 hours.
Listen.
So I am. I know we're not talking about wrestling, but I am leaving it up to the universe. I'm not religious whatsoever. I don't believe in a lot of stuff, but I am. This is going to be a decision on the whim.
Okay.
That is a decision I've decided that I'm
All
going to
right.
make. Rich,
Good luck.
I didn't see you for a week. I was in Manchester, England, in the United Kingdom, talking to a lot of men losing their hair. A lot of men. A lot of. I got to tell you, we got to do a pay-per-view show, like a watch-along.
Sure.
Where I could have a couple drinks and tell you my Manchester stories.
Please, I would love that.
I
would like
went to a strip club in Manchester.
This is Manchester, England.
Manchester, England, called Long Legs.
Oh, yeah.
Now, let me tell you.
With the legs long?
Not what I'm used to. It was not what I'm used to.
Up or down?
Everywhere.
High class, low class?
Oh, I don't know. It's
like a little underwater.
I don't know what I was
underwater?
Yeah.
So you were dealing with like mermen, basically.
I was, yeah, pretty much. A lot happened in pro wrestling while I was gone. I apologize. Our Instagram was a little lacking. Our Twitter was a little lacking. Our Facebook group was a little lacking. But I'm back now, and we're going to be pumping it up again. Guys, if you haven't already, go and check us out. We're on Instagram, instagram.com/Mcmahon Podcast. We're also on Twitter, approaching 80,000 followers on Twitter. It's Mcmahon Podcast on Twitter. Of course, our Mcmahon group is growing, over 13,389 members as we speak.
Yes.
And, of course, our Facebook page on Mcmahon. You can follow us there. Hey, I know that they could also fund us on Patreon. Patreon.com/Mcmahon Podcast. And if you're watching this live, hit that super chat button. Fund us whatever you can, $1, $2, $10, $5, and we'll love you a very long time. Let's go into professional wrestling.
Super chat.
Yeah. Was Dominion first?
Do you like professional wrestling?
I love professional wrestling. Was the Saudi show first?
Oh, man.
What was first last week?
I
want to
say it was the Saudi show, then the final of Best of the Super Juniors, and no, it was the final of Best of the Super Juniors, then the Saudi show, then Dominion, then we're on SmackDown.
Okay, so let's kind of sum this up as quick as possible. Best of the Super Juniors was great. I really enjoyed that Shingo Takagi and
Will Ospreay match.
Phenomenal,
unbelievable. Moxley versus Robinson's the real story,
dude. Yeah, Moxley versus Robinson at the Best of the Super Juniors. John Moxley is the U.S. champion, the IWGP United States champion.
Cannot believe it.
He cut a great promo afterwards. Those guys worked hard.
Yeah.
I don't think Moxley has sweat that much in a match.
He was excited. He was super
I think he's excited, and he's trying different stuff. Listen, he wrestled. I'm going to, a little criticism. A lot of people were like, oh, my God, you see the stuff that he's doing?
Yeah.
He wrestled exactly how he wrestles, maybe a little snugger. I think Juice was a great person to put him up with first because he knows the WWE style and kind of could give it a little bit of a hybrid.
Right.
The big story here is that Juice Robinson cut his hair.
And got cut open.
And got
bit open.
Yeah, bit open. I really enjoyed the match. I don't have the ratings that Meltzer gave it offhand. I could find that.
Yeah, look it up, and then I'll
find it.
I'll chat a
What
little
did you
through it.
think? Yeah, tell me about the match. What did you think of the match?
I loved it, honestly. Like I got like, even thinking about it now, like I've always been a big fan of this guy ever since he was Jon Moxley originally, and then going to FCW, having the great feud with William Regal, having that one amazing match with CM Punk, like when he showed up at FCW. I don't know if after an injury. And
You've in all honesty though, you've been a way bigger Dean Ambrose, Jon Moxley fan than I am,
or than probably anybody.
Yeah, you genuinely, he's one of your top guys.
Also because I feel like he gives me, as far as a wrestler goes, he is my type of guy, and that goes into like that snug working Mick Foley style. Like
he could also take bumps, he could do hybrid stuff.
Right, yeah. He's like a madman kind of, right? So this match in particular, the music, awesome. Comes out with like a little bit of doom rock and roll.
Yeah.
Great stuff. A lot of choppies in the match. A lot of good, and he's like the barbed wire shorts. Love it. The whole thing. Awesome. His match with Juice, I thought was fantastic. Really great ending. I was a little bit shocked that he won the IWGP US title. And I'm glad, because now the lead up is him beating Juice and then him taking on Shota Umino, who's Red Shoes' son. Because they kind of set that up during the Juice match, because he kept shoving all the young lions.
Yeah, he did.
Right? So then at Dominion, they have a 4-minute match, which was awesome. Started out great, blah, blah, blah. He cut a nice promo at the end of that match at Dominion, telling the crowd he's going to be in the G1. Right?
I was actually a little surprised that, I mean, maybe not so much, but I was surprised that he's actually doing it.
I'm very excited about that. Telling the crowd he's going to be in the G1, and then surprising the Japanese crowd by picking up Shota Umino and walking him to the back. You heard that gasp from the Japanese audience of like, such honor, And then this is an interesting thing,
That's
too.
like his pet now.
Right. This is an interesting thing, too. So he brings Shota Umino backstage. They cut that backstage promo on the step and go like sheet. And he's holding him up, and he's like, this guy's going to be my boy. I'm going to be in the G1. I'm going to bring my violence. This guy's going to be like my butler or my chauffeur, whatever he says, right? Makes him hold the belt. The guy's like unconscious and everything, the young lion. And that clip of that interview became their most watched clip in New Japan World.
Was it really?
Yes. It's got like over 1 million something views. That one clip of Jon Moxley.
That's interesting.
And that makes me think, as a fan, I'm like, they dropped the ball with, like, WWE. On one hand, obviously he had a great career, but on the other hand, they dropped the ball with this dude. But if they gave him what he wanted, who knows what could have happened?
I don't know. I think he had to leave.
Absolutely.
I feel like he kind of had to leave to kind of explore and refresh and do some cool stuff. By the way, Jon Moxley, Juice Robinson got 4.5 stars.
Beautiful.
Will Ospreay and Shingo Takagi got 5.75 stars.
Bro, one of the best wrestling matches I've ever seen in my life.
And Will Ospreay put on a couple pounds.
Yes.
He's changed his style quite a bit.
Yeah.
Which I like a lot. He's he's modifying it a little bit to kind of go up there. I do believe he's going to be their next big star. Tim Anger, $25 lap dance on me.
Beautiful. You mean like we lap dance on you?
On him. You know what? Recession proof. A lap dance has been $20 since inflation proof is lap dance. Always $20.
That's true. I want to know. Okay, so there's a guy in our chat room, Adam, and I think he's a Twitter follower too. And Moxley is still boring. He will always be boring. Crazy gimmicks are lazy and dumb. I want to know what excites you, Adam, about a wrestler. Like, why is he boring? A guy, and I don't think anything's boring about this new change of pace for the character.
I think it's refreshed. I kind of understand, Adam. I'm not again, I have not been the biggest Dean Ambrose, Jon Moxley fan.
Right.
I'm excited to see what he does here. I think he's a great addition to any roster to give it a little bit of spunk. So liven it up.
So he's going to be in the G1.
Yeah, so he's going in the G1.
And I think Jericho announced himself for the G1 in a weird way.
No, he did not. He said, maybe I'll be in the G1. I don't know. I do not want to see Chris Jericho in the G1.
You're not the only... I've heard that from a lot of people. I wouldn't mind seeing him in the G1 and losing after the first 2 rounds and then stalking Tana and Okada.
You could do something like that. Where do you want to go from here?
Do you want to do... Did you watch Dominion?
I did. So yeah, let's talk about Dominion now.
Okay.
I could go. I have the card. I have the
Actually,
matches for the card.
let's go in order. So the Saudi Super Show was before Dominion.
Okay.
And the reason I want to do that
Oh,
first
boy.
is because you had Botchberg, and then you had that NATO Ibushi match.
So I got to watch it at a later time in the evening.
Really?
Yeah, because I was in England.
Oh, that's right. What time was it by you?
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 p.m., 8 p.m.
Okay, so you got to see it at like
Prime time.
pay-per-view
Yeah,
time.
pay-per-view time. Yeah.
How'd that feel?
It was really weird. I'm still like all screwed up from the time difference. Like to me right now, I'm starving because it's like late lunch for me.
Okay.
I didn't really adjust to the time zone. I have to tell you,
It's bizarre.
I'm not saying this in a political manner.
Okay.
I hate them doing the show there.
Yes.
I hate everything about it.
It seems uncomfortable for the guys.
It's uncomfortable to watch.
Mm-hmm.
They did a very good job
Mm-hmm.
propaganda-wise at showing young, Saudi kids in the crowd, westernized,
Right.
talking about how great they love the wrestlers and they know about, and they were very, they spoke English great. They were doing a great piece for them, saying, look, hey guys, it's not doom and gloom here. It's great. Look how Americanized these kids are. They're wearing T-shirts and then they get like another shot of a woman covered head to toe with her eyeballs just showing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whatever. I don't want to get into the political stuff. I don't want to get into the morality of this. I just hate them doing the show there.
I honestly I feel like after this is the third show they've done there, and with each one, it just seems like it's come with a series of complete and utter setbacks. For this one in particular, it just seems so, and it's not a knock, but I feel like a 10-year deal for that money is completely bananas.
Dude, I get it. I don't blame them for taking the money.
Yeah.
You're a business. You gotta
absolutely.
grow.
But why not say hey, let's do a couple of shows there and see how it goes, and then we'll commit.
Because it doesn't work like that when they throw you $100 million to do this. And, and also remember, WWE lives in a bubble.
Yes.
They maybe are not aware of the cultural ramifications that come along with doing something like that. But regardless, I also, another reason why I hate it is that they are really wasting big time matches for nothing. And we'll get to Goldberg and Undertaker, right? But on paper, that could have been a great SummerSlam match.
Oh, 100%.
A dream, and with a build.
Yeah, 100%.
Shawn Michaels returning to the ring with DX to face the brothers of the brothers of discussion now because he's a politician.
like inside the actor's studio between Kane and Undertaker.
Yeah. They could have done something tremendous with the return of Shawn Michaels and now because it was such a hodgepodge way of doing things and it's so last minute, you wasted a Shawn Michaels return and he will probably never return again.
Yeah.
You also tore Triple H, his pec.
Yep.
You hurt the build-up for Batista. There are ramifications when you do these shows.
100%. But also, I think these shows, like you said, WWE lives in a bubble. These shows live in a weird bubble, too, because ever since, I think they first started, that very first show, the crowd was booing. Crown Jewel, the crowd they didn't even mention it at TV anymore. Remember at one point because of, all the political stuff that was going on? And the same thing with this one, they were just calling it the Super Show. They weren't saying this is where it is, et cetera, et cetera.
So they moved. Remember, you saw they moved the royal couches to the other side of the camera. The royal couches to the other side so you don't see them because they would look so bored on their cell phones.
Yep. The other thing with that too is that it seems like, and a lot of reports have come out on this, it seemed like it was a train wreck specifically for the boys involved, and just the fact that it was 110 degrees in the arena by the time the show went off the air.
It was over 100 degrees. Yeah,
put some air conditioning in that MFR.
It was over 100 degrees when the show went off the air.
If they're paying WWE $100 million,
it probably was air conditioned.
They could throw some BTUs in there.
Hey, you guys got about 14,000 BTUs. You got a 220 that I could plug this into.
The announce team looked like they were dying.
Did you hear the Saudi announcers say that they anticipated Renee to be the worst one, but it was Corey Graves?
Oh boy.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go through that card really quick.
Quick.
Really super quick. Seth Baron Corbin, who cares? Finn Balor Andrade was actually pretty good. I really enjoyed that match. I really like the fact that they gave Finn probably like the second best intro of the night.
Yeah.
He came out on top of the Wiggly dudes.
Yeah.
That was really cool. Great match. Shane versus Roman. Who cares? Lars versus Lucha House Party. Who cares?
Shane beat Roman.
Yes.
Yeah, give us the results too, just in case.
Yeah, Shane beat Roman. I like this story a lot, and it's weird, but it makes sense that Shane's story from here and on SmackDown is probably the most entertaining segment on the show.
Okay.
Besides the Sami Zayn stuff, which I really like. Lars beat the Lucha House Party. Great. I don't know why they're I know why they're wasting them, but I do think between Grand Metalik, Kalisto, and Lince Dorado, they are three of the most wasted talents
So sad.
on TV. But it's good that they get a lot of TV time because they've constantly been on Raw.
So
right?
if you want the ratings here,
Everything gets a 2-star.
Balor and Andrade got 3 and
It's a good match.
3.25.
Yeah.
Shane Roman got 1.5. 1.5. That has to be one of his worst ratings. Lars Sullivan, the Lars Sullivan match got a dud, a 0.
Oof.
Now we're at Randy Orton and Triple H. They went 25 minutes.
I thought that match was pretty good. Both guys look good.
Very slow.
Methodical.
If it had gone 7 minutes shorter, I would have enjoyed it a lot more.
Okay.
Unfortunately, it's a 100 match, and it has to go 25 minutes. It just dragged on, that match. I believe 2 1/4 for that match.
Now, I don't know about you, but for the last couple of years, I'm getting worried about Hunter getting in the ring.
Yeah, I think he's a little concerned also.
I just feel like he's a little he's getting older, obviously, but at this point, just save him for the one big match a year and not have him do the Saudi shows. But
it's a lot of money.
They are teaming him with the formerly known as Bullet Club in Japan.
Yeah,
which I'm excited about.
Did you see the vignette for that?
No.
Where he's sitting on the throne, and the throne actually has a little crack down the middle.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. I don't know if that was on
intentional
or...
I'm really caffeinated right now.
Are you good? I'm not.
Do you want some coffee?
I do.
Oh.
Can I get a sip of yours?
Oh, bud.
Oh, is this your special brew?
It's my special brew of Kicking Horse black coffee. Your head's gonna explode right now.
Oh, that is delicious.
Fresh made. I stirred it with my ding dong.
Even better. You mean like the pastry?
Yes, the ding. Yes, yeah. I stirred it with the chocolate ding dong.
Yeah.
I feel like this is one of Triple H's story moments where, since he was one of the originators of the original 2-Sweet, he can actually do a 2-Sweet in Japan with the dudes who took the 2-Sweet, full circle. And they should throw Balor in there too, just for
to throw him in. By the way, we have a great name in our chat room.
Mm-hmm.
Alyssa in Chains. What a great name.
Alyssa in Chains. Hey,
Alyssa in Chains. Great name.
It's great. We got to guys, if you have any questions, save them for the end. Because we're gonna be talking. We're not really gonna address them until later. And yes, Kingsley Rams, I do like the Shane story because he's a big chode.
I'm telling you right now, how many months ago did I say there is rumblings of him getting the title?
Shane?
Yeah, months
we've been
ago.
saying that forever.
Months ago, I got wind of Shane getting a title run, which I don't hate, and I'll explain why I don't hate it. I don't love it, but I don't hate it, and it could be done in a weird way.
Mm-hmm.
All right. What match are we at?
We are at
Bobby Lashley, Braun Strowman.
The
Yuck
820. And listen, for some reason, honestly, Bobby Lashley's growing on me because I think without Leo Rush, he doesn't know what to do with himself, so he's just getting a little loopy.
It started with a big high spot too. The match, he got 1 and 1.75 stars.
Also, I think they should really change his name to Baby Lashley because he looks like a big baby. He's like a big muscular baby.
He does look like a big muscular baby. And the man doesn't age.
No.
The guy looks phenomenal.
We got the 8th match of the night. And I think this is because Kevin Owens didn't want to make the trip.
Yeah.
But he had Kofi and Xavier beating Dolph Ziggler with interference. 10 minutes, 15 seconds. I don't really care much for their feud. Dolph Ziggler does a really good job of amping stuff up with his promos, which ultimately, and this is like the proof is in the pudding here. And we've said this a million times on our show. We've been doing the show for like 7 years. The thing with Dolph Ziggler is that he's great on paper, great in the ring, but he will promo a match and a feud to the point that you get really excited, and it would just fizzle out, right?
Yeah.
It'll just end up being like a dud or a turd in your mouth, and then that's it. And then it's like it's always, oh, what's next for Dolph Ziggler? Is he gonna come out like David Lee Roth? Is this guy gonna come out like another '80s guy? You know, I don't know. It's just kind of weird. How did you feel about that match?
I'm kind of over the Kofi run, man.
Really?
I got it. I feel like they are really pushing him.
Mm-hmm.
They are attempting to push him well and very strong and very aggressively. I think this is probably the best babyface run that we've seen because you're not doing even Steven booking with him. So on paper, it's great, but I don't see him as a believable WWE champion. I feel like they did the Daniel Bryan thing with him with no outlook and plan.
Like no future booking or anything.
No
like
future
that.
plan. Yeah, I feel like that was a big problem with it.
I think he's still a crowd favorite. The crowd hasn't turned on him. And you know what? If they do turn on him, it goes back to New Day sucks. And that's it. You turn the guy's heel again.
I think we're going to see a Big E turn.
Yeah?
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking for the SummerSlam program.
51-man battle royal. I thought it was very interesting how everybody just walked to the ring and then you had intros for like the last 5 guys.
Mansoor.
Where does Mansoor go from here?
Where does Mansoor go from here? Well, I'll tell you about Mansoor. Have you seen his troubling video?
No. What did he do?
Mansoor has a video. So Mansoor was like a 4chan guy troll.
Oh my god.
And there's a video. Remember the he will not divide us stuff that they were doing? Like there was like
barely.
a camera in Manhattan and people just scream he will not divide us. Mansoor shows up on that camera and he does the terrible depiction of a Jew.
Oh no.
This thing.
Oh no.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
It was part of anti-Semitic propaganda in Europe. Very much used during World War II to depict people of Jewish descent as, money hungry, whatever.
Right.
And you see him doing that.
No.
And I'm like,
he did propaganda basically.
He did it to be a troll.
Right.
Listen, it was years ago. If we're going to honestly, if we're seeing the hatred that Lord Sullivan gets, I think it's only fair to bring this up as well.
Okay.
He's a good talker.
He's really Seth Rollins. Let's just say that. Big reveal. He's Seth Rollins.
He's Seth Rollins
and
Ali merged into one person. It's wild.
It's like all right. So I'm gonna use a Dragon Ball reference.
Yeah.
So Ali is just like regular Goku. Seth is Mansoor Super Saiyan Goku. Seth is 3rd level Saiyan, and then Elias is like ultimate unstoppable. They all look this. They're all the character creation screen on the video.
Also, it's called the Happy Merchant. That thing that he did.
The interesting thing about Mansoor is good for him. Hometown hero, won it, but they sell it. And this is one thing. It's pro wrestling. Listen, they're gonna do that. Just like how Kofi was Jamaican, or how Chief Jay Strongbow wasn't really a Native American.
Mansoor's really Saudi.
Mansoor's really Saudi, but the dude grew up in California.
California, yeah.
He's like an American dude.
Yeah.
And one of his former in-ring names was Big Money Manny.
Big Money Manny.
Which I think you should go back to that. I think it's hysterical. But, the guy can talk. He's got a good look. Good for him. He popped the crowd, popped the territory, And I think but that just shows you that, great, it's a feel-good moment. Where does Mansoor go from here? It has no long-term lasting effect. And also, it just makes that whole thing seem pointless.
I don't know, man.
Right? I know. It's tough. It's tough to say.
Kind of tough.
They have, according to Montavious Janello Geek, they have 17 more shows over the next 8.5 years.
Jeez. What's the main event in that last one?
Undertaker vs. Undertaker.
Oh, my God. And then we
Ooh,
get to
like 10 years from now?
Undertaker, Bill Goldberg.
Okay.
On Tuesday, that stare down was done very well.
Yes.
Last week.
Yes.
I, unlike most, was looking forward to this match.
Mm-hmm.
I very much, I forget about being a critic and a cynic and looking at this as, I was kind of looking into this. I'm like, this is pretty cool. You got Bill Goldberg and The Undertaker. This is a dream match from our childhood.
Sure.
I'm into this. It fell apart. It was 8 minutes, by the way, the match.
Fell apart in the first 2 minutes.
It was fine for like 3.5, 4 minutes.
Sure.
And things fell apart.
In my opinion, and this is...
Okay.
Go ahead. Please.
No, I want to say, you have a theory as to what happened.
I have a theory as to what happened.
I just asked somebody.
And am I right?
No, but they all thought that.
Okay. So my theory is when they knocked on Botchberg's door, and you heard the clunk of his head hitting the door, and as soon as he came out, I felt like he concussed himself slightly, and the lights were on, and nobody was home because he had that little bit of blood right there.
It's possible he got a little silly.
I think he got a little loopy, and he goes out there, and then all of a sudden, Undertaker.
Did they cheer him?
Yes.
They did.
They had signs for him. And
Big
everything.
sign, okay.
They were doing the old school Goldberg chant. And then all of a sudden, man, honest to God, in my opinion, one of the greatest Undertaker entrances of all time.
It looked amazing.
Super long, super great. They gave him like a swirling vortex that he stood in front of, and lasers and smoke and fire. It was odd. Fireworks. It was effing awesome, right? They do the stare down in the beginning.
Goldberg hits the spear.
Goldberg does the thing.
Dead man.
And then he hits a couple of spears.
Saudi Arabia, it means something very different.
Oh my God. and then Goldberg goes for like what I want to say was an armbar, but he missed and tries to get Taker in a leg lock, but Taker puts his own leg into the proper position, and then it was downhill from there.
So Goldberg hit the spear right away, hit a second spear.
Great.
Undertaker kicked out. He sat up. Undertaker went for the choke slam, but Goldberg outpowered him and went for the knee bar.
I think he went for an arm bar. Turned into a knee, and he couldn't lock the arm bar.
And then a heel hook, but Undertaker made his way to the ropes.
Yeah.
Goldberg missed the spear and went right into the post.
Right.
And that's when he came out covered in blood and not silly. Yeah. So he went head first into that post.
Yes.
You know, that is not the first time that man has done that.
Right.
He has done that numerous times throughout his entire wrestling career.
And here's the thing, guys. I'm not complaining about this match. What really draws my ire is, listen, this is an investment that the company made in your main event, right? Regardless of where it is or who's in it, it's the main event. I do feel like Goldberg should have at least, come on, man, like take care of yourself a little bit. Like don't hit your head against the thing. Like, you know, like.
So he goes headfirst into that post, right? So now he's really knocked silly.
Right.
Undertaker goes to do the choke slam. Looks like, he goes to do a tombstone, nails him head first.
Spikes him. Yeah.
And people are like, oh my God, Undertaker's irresponsible. You can't tango with one guy.
Right.
He went for it, and Goldberg did not take proper precaution.
Yeah. Bangs
his head up even more. Goes for a jackhammer, but gave the greatest brainbuster I've ever seen in my life.
Legitimate brainbuster.
Legitimate brainbuster on The Undertaker.
Yeah.
And they just went home after that. I mean,
Taker gave the choke slam that Goldberg took was much akin to a Hogan on the receiving end of a choke slam, where it's like the dude gets like 2 inches off the ground.
Jeez.
You know? And again, like, I feel bad for these dudes because, like, again, you were looking forward to it. I was looking forward to it.
And they were too, probably.
I love The Undertaker. That dude, the face that this dude made at the end of the match said it all.
I posted that. I said, this says it all. And he was just, it is what it is.
It is what it is. And we're getting 17 more of these guys. 17 more. And I do think, like, Taker needs, like, he needs a little boost. He needs a little injection of, like, a good match or a good feud with somebody.
Well, I think he needs a guy that he could work well with.
Yeah.
He needs a guy that could help him. You know, who's leading? I mean, listen, Undertaker is a veteran and he's great and all that stuff. But you're doing an 8-minute match.
Yeah.
This match should have been stellar.
Right.
On paper.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at
I'm
how
sure
the
it was
match
stellar
was
on
laid
paper.
out, it was done well. It was done really well. It was done to be really fast and high impact, and things went awry. It was not good.
I honestly do think if they're going to do another Saudi show and you're going to have The Undertaker on it, because he's headlined the last 2, am I correct?
Yeah,
Right?
I think so.
Give Shawn Michaels $5 million.
I also
Right?
I also don't see Taker looking that terrible. He doesn't need to. His style is slow.
Right.
He's supposed to be slow.
Mm-hmm.
Let him do a couple things here and there, and you're fine.
Old
it's
school.
okay. I'm okay with this. It doesn't. Every match doesn't need to be a 5-star, rated gem.
Mm-hmm.
You could have some of these slower paced matches and have the old guys come out and bring attendance up, and that gives eyeballs to the younger guys.
Right.
I get it. My problem is wasting it on a show like this,
Right,
where it doesn't lead to anything.
I think if you had like a nice build, let's say like you throw Undertaker in there with somebody, like Undertaker versus Balor.
I don't know if I don't know.
Because then you get like
I'm bummed out over the whole thing.
you get like Undertaker Balor works because you get both amazing entrances, so the crowd's already hyped, right? You get the Hogan Rock-esque stare down, the crowd's already hyped. And you get Balor doing offense and Taker no selling.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then all of a sudden Balor with the comeback, boom, boom, boom. Balor's got Taker on the ropes. All of a sudden the last ride, and that's it.
And that's it.
Like, and crowd goes home happy. I think he would have been like a better choice.
Yeah.
So
we also have Dominion now, which we'll go really quickly through.
Mhm.
I have a lot to say about this show.
Oh yeah,
I do.
I hate it.
This show was polarizing on the internet.
I
The main
really,
event.
I enjoyed the show big time. We talked about the Mox opener. But
Moxley did the opener. Kenta showed up.
also announced himself for the G1 with Shibata.
So we have Kenta in the G1.
Mhm.
We have Moxley in the G1.
Ospreay also announced himself for the G1.
Ospreay's in the G1.
Shingo announced himself for the G1. And then you have the possibility of Jericho. I'm already getting tingles because of this. And I think you probably are going to get a Kota Ibushi in the G1 and Naito in the G1.
Well, Kota Ibushi, we'll talk about that also.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
happened with that. So the opening match, like Rich said, John Moxley and Shota Umino, 2.25 stars. It was a quick match. It was 3.5 minutes. Very quick. Just to get it out there.
Mhm.
You had Shingo Takagi and Kojima in 11 minutes. This was a great match. I really enjoyed
Shingo's
this.
a man, dude.
This got 4.25.
Mhm.
Liger, Yoshihashi beat Minoru Suzuki and Zack Sabre Jr. Can I tell you how much I dislike Yoshihashi?
I agree with you.
In a world where you have such good wrestling, he's so mediocre,
Mm-hmm.
and they keep trying with him. This got 3.25 as well. Hiroshi Tanahashi and Taguchi and Juice Robinson beat Chase Owens, Jay White, and Ishimori. 2.5 stars.
Quick fun match.
Fine.
I do love that New Japan philosophy of like, let's put everybody who's not in the main event on
the cards.
fun opening matches,
Yeah.
Ishii versus Taichi for the Never Open Heavyweight Championship. I love Tomohiro Ishii.
And he won the Never title.
Yep.
Yeah. 4 stars.
Great match.
60 minutes. Great match.
God versus LIJ, Evil and Sonata. Beat Evil and Sonata.
3.25.
Also, like, you can't like get New Japan may have the best tag team action so far.
They do. They have
right?
great tag team division.
Yeah.
I think Tama Tonga is really good.
Mhm.
He just needs to get better on promos.
You think so?
Yeah.
You think it's because he's got a light voice?
I think he has a light voice.
Hey, man.
Yeah, but he's cool. Like, I like him. But
he's cool.
I think in order to go to that next level,
I think you should be Tama Tonga for Halloween.
I could be Tama Tonga for Halloween. Hey, man.
Hey, man.
And then just curse.
20-minute next match for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship. You had Will Ospreay versus
Holy
Dragon
moly.
Lee. Unbelievable.
20 minutes. 5 stars.
I'm a huge fan of Will Ospreay, and I have been for years, but the new Will Ospreay is getting leaps and bounds better. He's not killing himself as much as he used to. He's wrestling a firmer style.
He's a little slower, but he's fine.
He's looking good. Dude's getting better on the mic. And I do think at some point within the next 2 years, that dude is moving up to heavyweight and challenging everybody.
It's possible. Yeah, I definitely 100%. So now you have the very controversial Naito and Kota Ibushi. Oof. Naito beats Kota Ibushi in 22 minutes to win the IC title.
My neck hurts thinking about this match.
This match, they killed each other in this entire match.
Oh my god.
Like, really killed each other. And there was a spot on the apron, on the outside of the ring on the apron, where Ibushi fell on the side of his head.
He took a German, clipped the side of his head and landed. And as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh no.
I don't like the apron spots to begin with.
Yeah.
In the grand scheme of things, it does nothing for the match.
Yeah.
I really don't like it, and a lot could go wrong, and we saw that go wrong. And I hope that all these guys have kind of learned that this apron spot is not necessarily the smartest thing to do. The match kind of got weird after that.
It was also it harkened back to those old AJPW matches.
Yes,
where it was a lot of neck spots.
A lot.
You're just like cringy neck spots. And that's cool. Listen, both these guys are amazing pros. They really, really hammered it home with the promos that kind of blend the real life stuff and then the pro wrestling stuff about Naito leading up to the match saying that nobody likes Kota Ibushi anymore.
Yeah.
And that the one guy that liked him in Kenny Omega is gone.
Yeah.
And then at that press conference, he asked one of the executives, like, hey, do you like Kota Ibushi? And the guy didn't say anything. And he's like, see, that speaks for itself. Nobody likes you here.
Interesting.
And the crowd, the Osaka crowd, boos and cheers Naito. And Ibushi is the golden star, man. Like, this dude's made of rubber. And he's getting better and better. The one thing was funny, like, my wife, I was watching it, and my wife was like, I was asking her about, like, yo, check this out. Because she's a doctor. I was like, in your professional opinion, should he be hitting the mat like that with his neck? She's like, no. And she's like, this poor kid, he's like, what, like 22, 23? And
Who?
Kota Ibushi.
No, he's
and I was
older
like,
than
no,
that.
he's 38.
Yeah. Yeah.
He doesn't look like it.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed the match. I thought it was great. These guys have consistently told a great story in the ring. This is an amazing rivalry. What was the rating for it?
4.75.
Great match.
I think it was a 5-star match. If you take that next spot out, I think a lot of people's idea of the match kind of got skewed from that spot, and then it got very big. He's apparently okay.
He just got a black eye. That's the one thing.
He's okay, so we'll see. So now this match was so controversial online, and I saw so much hate about it. Let's talk about Kazuchika Okada versus Chris Jericho. 25-minute match. He beat Chris Jericho with a roll-up that was reminiscent of the Omega match.
Yes, Jericho went for the code breaker, and Okada just planted himself
on him. Yeah. What did you think of the match?
I loved it. I thought it was great.
Okay.
I really like piece of shit Jericho.
I like the character. I like the piece of shit Jericho. I've said this many times before. Chris Jericho is much slower than these guys.
Mm-hmm.
And when you put him in a ring with a Kenny Omega or a Naito or a Okada, he is wrestling. He's smart enough to know that he can't go at that pace.
Right.
So he's adapted a very different style of wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
He's not adapting it for them. He's more of a brawler now.
Right.
And I think a lot of people are seeing that and saying he's out of shape and he's slow and he sucks.
Not at all.
Rather than looking at it as, oh, he's changed his style.
He's smartened up to the strengths and weaknesses of age.
But if you look at wrestling with a cynic's point of view, you are not going to be happy with this match. I understand that.
I get that.
I didn't. By the way, I didn't love the match.
Really?
I did not love the match.
Okay.
I do think that Jericho was a little slower than usual because Okada is so good.
Yeah.
You know, there was a lot of there was a couple miss spots, miscues. I'm looking at it. In hindsight, I still think it was a 4-star match.
Mm-hmm.
It was fine. but you could see the him getting a little exposed when he's in a ring with an Okada.
The takeaway from the match was the post-match stuff with not the fight, but the interview with Jericho. Jericho saying like, "Yo, he really could be the best of all time." Like
he is the best. He's the greatest.
Yeah.
He's the currently alive, and probably most likely he's the best wrestler ever. So you take the best wrestler ever, and you put him in a ring with a 48-year-old Chris Jericho that's wrestling a Bruiser Brody style brawler. You're gonna have a mismatch in styles.
I enjoyed the match. I do think people took too much of a dump on it.
I think they did take too much of a dump on it. I agree with you 100% on that. I didn't look at this and say it was a bad match at all.
Yeah, but I also think it told a really good story, and that story is it doesn't matter if Jericho loses, he still wins, because after the match, when Okada was declared the winner, Jericho did a perfect heel move and kicked his ass all over the arena, to the point where Tanahashi leapt over the announcer's desk and got involved.
So now you're setting up Tanahashi and Chris Jericho,
which I really enjoy. And just Jericho being so vile, taking the Rainmaker money and putting it down his pants.
Yeah.
Doing the camera middle finger thing. Like, Jericho is such a good piece of shit in Japan.
So the next couple of months, we're going to get a couple of these matches. We're going to get Tanahashi and him, obviously. We're gonna get we're gonna get John Moxley and Chris Jericho.
Dean Moxley.
We're gonna see Chris Jericho and Cody.
Yeah.
Chris Jericho, Hangman.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna get a lot of good matches out of Jericho the next year.
Oh my God.
I'm just hoping that he's able to kind of maintain his style.
I think so,
and
man.
Keep up.
I also think like the Jericho Japan is one thing. Jericho AEW is another thing. You know, like it's very like he adapts so well. And I said it last week. He's like the Hogan Terry Funk of this generation, you know, where like he can command. He doesn't have to do anything he doesn't want to do. You know, he can command the ring, whatever. You know, people got to look at it as pro wrestling and how fun it is to see Chris Jericho still wrestling in Japan, looking like a complete maniac.
Yeah,
he looks like a juggalo.
He does. He looks ridiculous. He looks ridiculous.
Yeah.
He really does.
I love it. I love the whole thing of him calling himself the Painmaker. And then Okada saying, that's ridiculous. You know, you want to talk about there's so much wrestling going on. You want to go down the card for Fyter Fest?
Sure.
Fyter Fest is on June 29th. It's the All Elite show. And like they did with CEO last year, which was Kenny's baby, and, it was like associated with the gaming stuff, they're releasing it for free. Okay,
well. It's free if you sign up on BR Live.
Right.
So go sign if you go sign up on BR Live, and then you can get it. I'm curious how it's going to look, because this is not going to be a big event. This is going to be like almost like in a convention hall. I believe it's 2,500 to 5,000 people possibly to fit. I don't know how they're going to do setup.
Mm-hmm.
This is not going to look like All In, or it's not going to look like Double or Nothing. I'm just letting everybody know.
Did you watch CEO last year?
I did. It was very dark.
Yeah, it'll probably look like that. It was like a house show.
It's gonna look better than that. I was told. Yeah.
Cool. All right. So
do we have a card for this?
I got the card right in front of me. So you have Michael Nakazawa versus Alex Jabali. Alex Jabali is if you have watched the Double or Nothing behind the scenes stuff, he's like Cody's right hand man.
Okay.
Not particularly a wrestler, but they're doing a hardcore match, and I think that's hysterical. You have Yuka Sakazaki versus Rio versus Nyla Rose in a 3-way match. Should be fun. Christopher Daniels versus Sema. Should be fun. Moxie versus Janela. These guys are going to kill each other.
I'm looking very much forward to that match.
Absolutely. Adam Page versus Jimmy Havoc versus Jungle Boy versus MJF in a 4-way match. I think that's going to be great.
The 4-way. Which one is it?
Adam Page, Jimmy Havoc.
Oh, Jungle Boy and MJF.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
And then you have the Elite, which is probably going to be the main event, right?
Elite versus Lucha Brothers, and who's the TBA? I'm curious.
Turnbuckle Dan.
To be
determined. I don't know. I feel like it's going to have to be somebody like Rey Mysterio.
No, maybe it is Jericho. Because he's
so?
like, I'm not doing this shitty show.
That's true.
Possibly it could be him.
That would be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And you have Cody versus Darby Allin, which I'm looking forward to.
Dude, if you have not seen, we've seen Darby Allin live a couple times.
Yes.
I've seen him a couple more times with you. This guy kills himself.
He's a maniac.
He's a maniac. You're going to look at him and say, oh my God, how could anybody want to wrestle this guy? He looks terrible.
Yeah.
Dude, just he murders himself.
Yeah.
He murders himself. I'm being told that it's 8,000 people. I've been told it is not 8,000 people.
Mm-hmm.
I've been told it's less than that. So, I just want to tell people, give this guy a chance. He's great on the indies. He's just like a spot guy where he murders himself and gets killed every match.
Also, I think Vice did a profile on him.
On Darby Allin?
Yeah. And
he's a weird dude.
Yeah, he was like a pro skater, I think. And but yeah, like I wouldn't mind seeing him get into like a hardcore match with Cody.
Yeah.
That would be kind of cool.
Do you want to do questions?
Yeah, guys, give us your questions.
Okay. I have a whole bunch here. I think this is from Darth Edge on Twitter.
Go.
I think in AEW or for that matter WWE, Rusev is a star if given the freedom. What do you think? I think Rusev is great. He's now. I think he got a lot of heat because of his wife.
Do you think so?
And yeah, I think so. And they just don't know what to do with him at this point.
Mm-hmm.
He's just there.
Now, Rusev is an interesting guy, okay? And I was thinking about this over the last couple of weeks because of the whole Jon Moxley podcast situation, right? Where some guys are happy, apparently, doing what they're doing, and then some guys are not, right? Now, the variable that goes in there is, do you see a guy like Rusev jumping ship, or do you see him just being like, I made my money, I'll do some conventions?
I don't know. 6 months ago, I would have said he would have left. I don't know now. I think he will. If he does leave, obviously, he knows where he's going.
Because there's that mentality, like, and it's not a knock on Ryback, but a dude like Ryback who's like, hey, listen, I left. I'm going to do spot indie dates. I'm not going to Japan. I'm not going to Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
You know, like, there's dudes like that, and then there's dudes like Cody and Mox and Jimmy Jacobs.
Yeah.
Who were like, yeah, I'm going back. I got fired from WWE. I left WWE. I'm doing my own thing now.
Yeah.
You know? Miz, I feel like, is a dude who will never leave that company.
I can't see him leaving.
Right?
I think he's very satisfied where he is.
Super comfortable guy. He's got a TV show. You know, like, that guy's been on top for like 10 years.
I know.
The
It's
Miz
wild.
is John Cena, basically.
It really is wild that he's been on top so long.
It's so nuts.
What are your thoughts? This is Chuck.
Chuck.
What are your thoughts on AEW's announced team so far?
I'm cool with it.
You're cool with it.
Yeah, I'm down with it. I'm perfectly fine. They've only done what, like,
They're gonna get better.
one show.
They're gonna get better.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people were shitting on it. They're gonna get better. I thought JR revitalized his announcement. I have not heard
100%.
him this good in a very long time. So it just shows you if you're very interested in what you're doing.
Yeah.
You're gonna do well at it.
Plus, if you old school it and kind of kayfabe your announcers a little bit,
Yeah.
and then not tell them certain things,
Yeah.
it makes it a lot better.
You want to pick something?
Green Lives Matter. Are AEW going to have that hardcore nonsense Cornette is always riled up about? Yeah, sure. On thumbtacks.
I think they're gonna do a little of everything and see what works.
Yeah. I think you throw stuff at the wall as a new company, right? And then,
Yeah.
you know, whatever. These guys know what they're doing. Megan W., do you guys know if WWE are introducing the newly designed tag titles that were rumored during Mania?
I don't know when those belts are coming. I know that they're designed.
Yeah.
I have no idea when it's coming.
How do you feel about the tag division right now?
I think it sucks.
Tell
I think
me
they need to eliminate it and make it one title.
I agree with that 100%.
You've split the roster, and at this point, it doesn't even matter because guess what? This brand split is gone. It's out the window.
Wild card, baby.
Wild card, baby. Everybody's back and forth, so it doesn't even matter. You could just have one title now.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I do think if there's one title going between both brands, it should be Rowan and Bryan.
Well, there's a reason why Daniel Bryan's in tag matches right now.
Well, yeah.
I'm just saying.
Little banged up.
He's a little banged up, and they're a little concerned, so they want to give him a little bit of, they want to make his life a little bit easier with being in a tag. Thoughts on Steph's pep talk?
Pap talk.
Pap talk.
If you got to get a pap spear, I know a guy.
So she gave a pep talk to the NXT people.
Pretty
much saying, like, you're in control here, and if you go anywhere else, you're done.
What?
Yeah, essentially, like, it was like it was kind of to discourage people to leave.
What? It's a little weird.
Also, WWE has changed their mindset about keeping names.
Okay.
They are now changing everybody's name.
Yeah, Eric Bugenhagen went from to like Rick Boogs.
What, they changed his name again?
Yeah.
Well, ACH is now Jordan Miles.
So weird.
Trevor Lee is Cameron Grimm. Shane Strickland is Isaiah Scott.
This is so stupid.
Garza Jr. is Angel Garza.
Oh my god.
Because they don't like juniors, remember that.
Yeah.
DJZ is Joaquin Wild.
What?
Yeah.
That's so weird.
Samuel Shaw is Dexter Loomis.
You know what my name would be?
What?
Hammer Johnson.
Hammer Johnson. What else do we have? What other questions?
What would you pick as your name?
Enchante.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I have a character.
What if they made you change Enchante?
If they made me change the Enchante, it would be...
What if they called you Lazy Susan?
Oh, Lazy Susan. You know what my finisher is?
Go ahead.
I pick you up, I spin you around, and I just
put you
put
back
you down.
down. Any idea from... I can't pronounce your name, but I'm going to try. Alienik? I hope that's right. Any idea when Cesaro's contract runs out? I don't know. As he'll obviously never get a chance to have a true run in WWE, he should be a prime suspect to try his luck. He did have a great run in WWE. What are you talking about?
I think he's had a decent second half of his career in WWE.
Absolutely.
I don't know when his contract is over. I don't see him leaving, though.
That's interesting. I think they're going to throw all the money in the world at him.
I think he's a great utility player for them.
Absolutely.
Listen, but he has a reality, you know? What would it mean for Cesaro to have a WWE title? Nothing really.
Yeah.
You know, you have to make that into a very special category of people.
Yeah.
And in the world, we kind of are under the impression that everybody can have. If you're decent, you should have the WWE title. You should get a run. Kind of doesn't work like that. Look, guys like Kurt Hennig.
Yeah.
Never had the world title. Rick Rude never had the world title. Ted DiBiase never had the world title. I mean, these are guys that in WWE...
Mike Rotunda.
IRS, I mean, but...
Ricky Steamboat
never had a main event run. Very different era. I know it's the Hulk Hogan era where nobody got a title run, but you could still have a world-class career without having a title.
Yeah, and it's also not about the titles. It's about, like, the guy who has the title is the face of the company, you know? And at this point, it goes far beyond who's the best wrestler. You know, it's the guy that they want on the billboards. It's the guy that they want on the posters.
Yeah.
And along with the talent and all that stuff, you know, they were going to throw the title on Luger because they wanted him to be the second coming of Hogan, right?
That was the goal.
And, you know, like Kevin Nash, great example. Like, you put your title on the biggest dude you got, who's a super charmer, right? Who can do the appearances and look good on posters and look good on TV. Was Kevin Nash a 5-star worker?
No.
Right.
But you know what? That match with Shawn was remarkable.
Because of Shawn.
Yeah.
All right. Thoughts on Velveteen Dream defending Vince McMahon? I really like that.
I thought that's great. Great part of his character.
It makes a lot of sense. Also, what he's saying, like, you know, you do the best with what you're given, but he's a homegrown guy, so he doesn't really know anything
Exactly.
else.
Patrick Clark is a 23-year-old homegrown talent over the last couple of years. Let's see. Anything else?
Give us more questions, guys.
Will Enchante versus Sunny Kiss ever happen? Instant 5-star match.
It would just be...
I know. I've met Sunny many times.
It would be... what's the move that he does? The twerk?
It would just be a back and forth twerk competition.
Thing? So it would be like him...
we would have a kiss-off.
A Sunny kiss-off?
A Sunny kiss-off, yeah.
So it would basically be his move with the ass in your face, and then you reverse it into like a Bronco Buster.
Yeah.
And then he reverses into the ass move again.
Yeah. That would
for
be the
5
whole
minutes.
match.
5-star match.
Enchante.
Domestic Butler. Have your viewership dropped with the low quality WWE? Whose viewership? Our viewership?
Our viewership actually has increased.
Because
wrestling
everything.
is hot.
Talk about everything, baby.
Let's talk about WWE viewership. They are anticipating right now, and I'm sorry, I'm still jet lagged, so my timing is really off today. I apologize for that. I'm still a jet, and I got to do another show right after this. WWE ratings are plummeting. The ratings were very bad. The third hour on Monday for Raw dropped below 2 million viewers.
Good Lord.
The ratings have hit all time. Overall ratings, not just viewership, have dropped. But we have seen a tremendous decrease in teenagers.
Yeah.
And that is a really bad sign. That teenage group is what continues your viewership in the next decade. And we've seen a tremendous drop, and it's only going to drop even more. I understand Monday was the NBA Finals. It was 18.5 million people watched that thing. I understand that. But we have to now kind of look in the summer when the ratings kind of go down and people aren't home as much and say, what are they going to do to keep this going? There is a summer angle coming. I'm still being told that. I don't know what it is. I don't know what that hot summer angle is. It's June 13th, and I have not seen anything to show this hot summer angle.
That is true. They have been teasing that.
I am very concerned it's going to be Shane McMahon winning the title.
Ooh.
Robin. Hey, Robin. I don't know, and I've been getting no hints regarding this, so it can't be that great. What initially I was told, they have a hot summer angle.
The return of Ronda Rousey.
I don't know what hot summer angle means.
Return of Ronda Rousey.
I don't know.
The
Her hand
Rock?
is fine now.
The Rock.
Well, The Rock. The story is that they really want to do Rock Roman.
Okay.
For Mania next year.
Sure. I'll be down with that.
I do think that would be a good idea at this point. I don't know how they would do that with Roman still being a soft face. The point of him and Shane in an angle is for you to hate Shane.
Right.
And for you to love Roman. For Roman to lose and continue a feud with Drew, I don't know how that helps Roman in any way, but it does make Shane even more disliked.
But I feel like Shane is so like one of the guys that you can't help but like him at this point. He's got like cool guy heat,
and then we're supposed to get Bray.
Right, eventually. Maybe that's the hot summer angle.
I don't know, man. Maybe, but he's killing it with those vignettes.
Do a little Bray versus Finn Balor.
Do you see them doing like a Faces of Foley type thing with him where he wrestles some matches as like the nice Bray trying to be different and then the demon takes over and then like some matches he's like a lunatic.
In the sweater?
Yeah.
I thought it was, yes, I think that would be cool, but I also thought it was interesting how he murdered that rabbit and then ate its guts.
He ate him. He made it into jam, right?
Which is, he's getting away with so much stuff, and I think it's really good. And I feel like that's just, like, such a weird, like, dimensional portal of where they're going with this guy.
Chuck says, will you introduce Treehouse Tony Khan? You know what? We just read comic books together, man, me and Tony Khan.
Yeah, it's pretty tame.
We do math. He has a big whiteboard with, like, just, like, equations happening, and we just read comic books.
This is a good. This one makes me pop. Transferring Heat says Undisputed Era versus DX, Triple H, HBK, Road Dogg, and X-Pac at War Games. I'd love to see it.
WWE will be doing a War Games.
Okay.
I was told that's in the works. I don't know when or how, but they will do a War Game style match.
Are you excited for Stomping Grounds?
I am not excited for Stomping Grounds. I don't even know that. I forgot that there's this pay-per-view.
Yeah.
The attendance is terrible, by the way.
I heard it's brought to you by the Lugs Boot of the Week.
The Lugs Boot of the Week. WWE Stomping Grounds is taking place next week. And you got Bayley and Alexa Bliss. You have Roman Reigns and Drew McIntyre.
Great.
You have Becky Lynch and Lacey Evans. You have Seth versus Baron Corbin again. You have Kofi versus Ziggler again. You have Nice versus To Be Determined.
I'll just say it. Yeah. Mediocre card. Jeez. This is a Monday Night Raw.
This is a Monday Night Raw that's not even that great. I have nothing to say about this card. I know that the thing got screwed up and the card got messed up, but the attendance apparently is terrible. And this is taking place at the Tacoma Dome, which seats about 20,000 people. I think they're below 10,000 right now in selling this thing out.
I do feel like this, and again, like if you guys are fans of ours, we never really poo-poo on WWE, but I do feel like
we've been the worst that we've ever been. We've been really down.
Yeah, I feel like it's at this point when you look at it over the last month, it's like, what's happening? Like this could be so much better.
Yeah,
from like a fan's perspective, you're like, this could be a lot better.
Yeah.
Do they care about the fans at home as opposed to the fans in the arenas at this point?
I think they care more about the fans at home than the fans in the arena.
See, I feel like the opposite. I feel like because they know those ticket sales will always come through.
I don't know. See, that's the thing. They're not coming through, and this is a problem. Let's see. What else? We had a couple more here. We have some more questions. Do you think AEW Weekly TV show will manage to break 2 million viewers before the end of 2019? Impossible. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to break this down to you guys. I haven't said it in a while. there aren't as many pro wrestling fans as people imagine.
Right.
For Raw to do 2 million, AEW will probably get the better the ratings for Raw. Listen, the better Raw and WWE is, the better it is for AEW because there's more eyeballs on the market.
Yeah.
AEW, if they do over 500,000, I would consider that a success on their TV. I think there's going to be a lot of disappointed people when that TV rating comes out. I'm telling you, the core wrestling fan, the P1, sorry, Rich, is only around 500,000. We don't have that many people that are really diehard wrestling fans. AEW's catering to someone that is in the know. And you know how I could tell? Look at our social media account. It's kind of stalled out at around 80,000, right? It's not gaining more, and it's not because of the show or anything we're doing. Obviously, there are people that do better numbers, but if a lot of that is like crossover audience. Our audience is a diehard wrestling followership.
Right.
For AEW to do 2 million, I would be pleasantly surprised. I don't think they're going to do anywhere near 2 million people.
And presently aroused.
Unless wrestling changes, something changes here.
Yeah.
If I were to predict, and here's a follow-up question: can you predict the first night of AEW ratings? I
give it a 7-11.
You say 7-11. You say 711,000 people.
No, I give it a 7-11 like the store.
Oh, like the store. I would anticipate if they do 750 to 850,000, 850,000 views, in my opinion, would be very good.
Absolutely.
It'd be very strong and very good. I don't know who's calling me right now with a 929 area code.
Arrhenius Meister. Did you guys think Ramblin' Rabbit's death was a reference to Moxley's shoot interview in Jericho's podcast? Oh, yeah. I think so. Because before he killed the rabbit, he was like, I'm going to tell you all the secrets. And yeah, you know what? Why not, man? Just like a little bit of a dig. But I feel like they can't bury Dean Ambrose because he left the right way. He waited until his contract was up. He didn't make waves. And that's it. You know?
Yeah.
Who will turn heel first, Rollins or Roman? Nobody. No, these guys are faces for the next year.
They need Rollins to be a face. Remember, WWE's kind of booked like a heel territory.
Yeah. How do you feel about Corbin as I think Raw's #1 heel?
I kind of oddly have not started rather than hating him. I'm like, oh, you know what? He's not a bad heel. He's kind of getting into this.
They're putting him with Owens and Zayn on Monday was good.
Listen, dude, they see something in him, obviously.
Right.
You know, a lot of people are saying how James, for example, goes, TBS is 90+ million homes. Yeah, same thing with TNT, actually. They're going to be on TNT.
Yeah. It's
the same. TNT, TBS, they're in USA. They're on the same level, essentially. But that doesn't make a difference. 90 million homes, but with only 2 million people interested in a WWE product, this is going to be less than a WWE viewership.
Right.
It has no track record. The hope is, with building and promotion, they get up there.
Right. And I'm excited. October's not too far away. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, man. And I can't wait to do the show, to do our show after that first episode of AEW television.
Yeah. Wild Hand says, only if your live stream had captions for the deaf or hearing impaired. I don't even know how we would be able to do that.
That's not a bad idea.
That is a great idea, and I wish we had the capability of doing that.
Or
I don't know how we could do that.
Or maybe, I think there's a program that will translate it, but it might not be the best.
You know what? This is the third time I've been asked this in recent weeks. I will look into it.
Ask Suncast if there's any way to do it in post, so that way the deaf and hard of hearing can watch it tomorrow.
Well, YouTube is going to start incorporating that in all their videos in the coming year.
Okay.
But I'm curious how that would work for live. Any last minute questions? We are wrapping this up. I have to go and record with Ayaz Akhtar on What the Tech right now. I'm not going to do it live this week. I'm under a obscene amount of stress at this moment, where I am just feeling everything.
What's Ayaz's in-ring name?
The Actarian. He's like a Game of Thrones character.
I like it.
Yeah. Rev.com, you can get caption done. Interesting. Thank you for that. I'll look into that.
Thanks, bud.
Yeah. All right, guys. If you enjoy this podcast, I always tell you guys, help us out, support the show. Go to patreon.com/MattMenPodcast. Fund us there. Fund the show as little as $1 per episode. It's a humongous help here. It keeps us going. It pays our bar bill whenever we go drinking. You guys, we love all of you guys. We love hanging out with you. We love chatting with you. We have this amazing community here of really good people.
Oh yeah.
I really think everybody in this chat room, everybody's respectful of other people's opinions. We like what we like. We don't like what we don't like. We could have a discussion over it.
Mm-hmm.
We could talk about, wrestling is gigantic. Everybody has different perspectives.
Wrestling is gigantic.
And that's what I love. That's really what I love about this community that we have here.
Absolutely.
Each and every week we do the show. We're going to be doing the bonus show. Do you want to do Stomping Grounds? You want to do a live show?
Yeah, we could do a pre-show.
We could do something.
I'd rather do Fighter Fest.
Oh, yeah, we'll do Fighter Fest. What day is that?
That's the 29th. That's a Saturday.
That's a Saturday. Okay,
Yeah.
so let's do that.
Yeah.
Let's do Fighter Fest. We could do a live watch along for that again. That'll be fun to do. And, of course, fund us, guys. Join the community. Join the Discord. And we'll see you all next week.
Yep.
Take care.
Mwah.